Hello, hockey fans, and welcome back on in to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. It's the day after Christmas. In the hockey world, that means it's time for one of the best amateur tournaments in all the land to get started. In Ottawa, we've got the World Juniors going on. Team USA is finishing up its game over Germany as we speak. We've already had one game in the books. We will break that all down and talk about it. Will the U.S. be able to top Canada? We will see. But it's not all going to be World Juniors on the docket tonight. There's plenty to go around in the NHL. Detroit Red Wings earlier today announced that they are making changes at the head coaching position. Steve Yzerman's being busy on the day off. So we will have the latest update for you there on the goings-on over in the Motor City. We'll also be looking at what have been our surprises in the NHL going into this Christmas break now that we are in. All that, we'll see what other silliness and craziness popped up along the way. If you're a regular here to the Neutral Zone, you know how things can get on this show. All that and more coming on up. Buckle on up. Dive on in. Let's have some fun. Let's go. And good afternoon or evening. Welcome on in to the Neutral Zone. I am your host, Adam Karnick. Zach Puppas is going to be along with us here in just a moment. Lots to be getting to on the show here tonight. We've got NHL news. The Detroit Red Wings have been busy. They are making some changes. We've got World Juniors action going on. Plus, it's the holidays. There's always fun and joy and excitement to be had. Adam Karnick, Zach Puppas will be along with you. We'll have some fun talking some hockey, breaking all things down. Lots to get through on the show here tonight. So we'll be starting things off with Red Wings discussion as they have decided today at the very end of the Christmas break to make a change at the head coaching spot. That's where we'll be starting things off. But first, before we get into it, a quick word from our sponsors. Then we'll be diving right into some Red Wings discussion. Let's go. IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon. but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam Karnick, Zach Puplis along here with you. Zach, Merry delayed Christmas. How are you doing on this fine Boxing Day, sir?
You too, sir. I'm doing great. I wonder if they'd call it the Boxing Day edition.
Yes, this is absolutely the Boxing Day edition of the show. And real quick, shout out before we dive into the meat and potatoes of the show today. Quick shout out. You heard how to follow along with some of our sponsors there. This show is also available for you on all the social media platforms. You can follow along with us on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. You can also follow along with me on Twitter. I am at Adam_Karnick. I'm also on Blue Sky. You follow me at AdamK87. Zach is at the Puplis on Twitter. Well, I just when I thought I knew how we were going to be starting the show tonight, the Red Wings go and they decide to rewrite everything. They fire their head coach. Derek Lalonde is out. Terry McClellan is in. Zach, get us caught up, get us up to date. What is going on in Detroit?
Looks like, they fired their coach earlier today, named Todd McClellan as a replacement. Major change, the general manager, Steve Yzerman, more than a third of the way through another disappointing season in the place known as Hockey Town. Oh, not so much the last decade or so. Moves come with the Red Wings on a 3-game skid, having lost 9 of the past 12. They have 13, 17, and 4 this season and are above only the lowly Sabres in the Eastern Conference. Wow. We just narrowly missed the playoffs last year. But I guess he's just not getting it done. He's only been in around, 3 seasons? It'll be their 4th NHL coach. McClellan's going to be on his 4th NHL stint with San Jose, Edmonton, and LA.
So some changes going on there in Detroit. Then I know we're going to be talking more broad NHL surprises here a little bit later on in the show, but did this move surprise you at all? It took me a little bit by surprise earlier today. Did any of this catch you off guard, or were you just kind of thinking, no, this is for Detroit, this is the right move?
Well, I think I was caught off guard. I think they were starting to turn the corner last year with almost getting to the playoffs. We had that long playoff streak going back, 25 years, and ended about 8 years ago now. So I was thinking that, he might be getting close to getting back to the playoffs, but not this year.
Yeah. It's, the Blackhawks just did something similar here a couple of weeks ago, fired their head coach after being there for 3 seasons. You were expecting that it was going to be an upward swing, an upward turn for the team, but instead they've gone backwards. What do you think about McClellan? Is this get me a little caught up on McClellan. You had mentioned that he's got prior head coaching. Was he already with the organization, or was he coming elsewhere? I missed that part as I was getting ready for everything today.
Yeah, no worries. He's 57 years old. He was fired as head coach of the Kings back in February. He compiled a 164 to 130 to 44 record over the past 4+ seasons. A career record of 598, 412, and 134. and has guided his teams to the playoffs 9 times. The Sharks reached the Western Conference Finals back in 2010 and 2011. He returns to Motor City after getting a job as his first job in the league as a Red Wings assistant back in 2005. And he served under coach Mike Babcock on the team's 2008 title run.
All right. Okay. And where had he been prior to getting the top job here? Was he out, or was he already with the organization in some capacity since February?
I think he had been out since February.
Okay.
Yeah. So then this is his first job back in Detroit since he was an assistant.
Okay. So Yzerman went to tap went to tap somebody that was sitting at home and that he had a little bit of a history with, and hey, come, this situation needs salvaging. Will you come here and try and right the ship here for us?
Looking at seeing that he was under Mike Babcock on the 2008 title run, it feels almost like a very Michigan Man scenario. Hey, let's get somebody back from the glory days when we were still good.
Yeah. There may be a little bit of that there too, but at the same time, 2008 was a long time. Crazily enough, that was almost 17 years ago.
Yeah.
That's getting to be a while ago that that was happening. So
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Here, let me put it to you this way. Okay, so this says that Lalonde was midway through his 3rd season with Detroit after winning the Cup twice as an assistant with Tampa Bay. Okay, so somebody who had a winning track record of success with Tampa Bay makes sense why you'd want to pull him. Why you'd want to give him the job. But after 3 seasons and he hasn't really gotten it done. Like, okay, I guess I understand why you'd want to pull the plug. I guess I'm more surprised that they already had somebody ready to bring in. So I don't know if Todd's going to be an interim or if he's legit like the replacement.
Everything. Well, let's go. Before I say everything I've seen, let me go back. I actually just had it, and then of course Twitter went and refreshed.
Well, this article says that he's the replacement.
Yeah,
so,
everything I have seen has not used the interim tag when talking about Todd McLellan. And all right, this isn't the exact one I was seeing, but TSN, the Detroit Red Wings announced Derek Lalonde has been relieved, while also naming Todd McLellan the 29th head coach in franchise history. So that's not an interim. That is, you're bringing him in to be the next guy. So there are expectations then on McLellan. This isn't just, hey, we gotta get through, get us through the next 4 months and then we'll figure it out from there. No, you are being handed the keys here.
Yeah. So I think that's more surprising to me than anything, because normally it's, okay, we're going to start a head coaching search and, in 2 months we'll have somebody in place for next year. But yeah, to have him not just be, not just elevating like an assistant coach to be the interim, like they actually got their next guy ready.
Yeah, you're right. That is a little surprising, because on the one hand, I mean, if you're going to fire a coach in season, you better know what you're going to do in the meantime. You need to have somebody in line. It can't just be, well, we're going to fire him and then we'll go through this search. And excuse me, we have games to play in the meantime. What do you want us to do about that? You've got to have something in mind. But no, you're absolutely right. It is out of the ordinary to, oh no, we're not slapping the interim tag on this guy. Here is the next head coach. That is absolutely out of the ordinary. So yeah, obviously there were some conversations going on behind the scenes that Yzerman was having. So obviously Yzerman's been thinking about this for a while, about getting rid of Lalonde. It'd be interesting to see some of the background work. We'll be keeping an eye on, obviously, places like TSN and Fox Sports Detroit or whatever It's not Fox Sports Detroit anymore.
Valley Sports Detroit now.
Well, but even Valley's dead. It's FanDuel.
Yeah.
So keeping track of the beat writers and the guys doing the boots on the ground there for everything, how exactly this went down in Detroit. Because obviously, yeah, to your point, you've given him the keys. Obviously, there had to be stuff going on in the background then before making this decision. And it is, it's the Christmas break, but this is the tail end of the Christmas break at this point. And the Red Wings, their game, I'm pulling up the schedule now. Did they play tomorrow? Yes, Toronto's in town tomorrow night for a game. So you've got business to attend to very quickly here, sir.
Yeah. He was 89, 86, and 23 overall with the Red Wings. The assistants, Bob Bauner and Trent Yawney were also – Bob Bauner was fired. Trent Yawney was also hired to work on his staff.
All right. So we're making some moves. Hello, Kitty, as your cat makes a cameo appearance there.
Yes. Despite signing 3-time Stanley Cup champion Patrick Kane in 2023, re-signing him last offseason, success has not approached the Red Wings' glory days, like we said, when they won the Cup 4 times between 96 and 97 and 07 and 08. 3 times when Yzerman was the captain, and once with him working in the front office. Instead, their playoff drought is on track to reach a 9th year, second longest stretch in the league behind Buffalo.
Yeah, so it's obviously things this season have not gone as expected, and so Yzerman decides to make a move. Your opinion, does Yzerman's seat get any hotter now as a result of this? Or is he such a made man there in Detroit that, my gosh, it would take way more than this to get rid of him?
This is only his second coaching hire?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's too much of a made man for them to try to put any pressure on him yet.
Okay. All right. So his seat is still very, very cool in your opinion.
I think so, just because how synonymous he was with success back in the day.
All right. Okay. Good to know. For more on this story too, you be sure to follow Christian, the host of Gritsville USA, here on IE Sports Radio, breaking down everything going on in Detroit sports. He's the one that actually alerted me to this earlier this afternoon. He was very excited that Lalonde was out. He was actually rejoicing over it. So
nice.
Be sure to catch him Wednesday evenings, 9:00 Eastern, and he will have all the breakdown for you as well there too. So be sure to check him out. Good evening, Taryn Rodriguez, as he is checking in on us. Hoping we had an amazing holiday. Yes, I hope you did as well. It was a very Bluey themed Christmas over here. I've never seen so much Bluey in all my life. Oh my heavens!
I got my nieces some too.
Yeah, there it all is. So,
well, if you look at the last coaching hire too, when they had Blashill there, I think they gave Blashill a much longer leash prior to Lalonde. I think Blashill was there like 5-6 years.
Yeah, so they've definitely, this is a little quick for Detroit. Yeah, this is definitely a little on the quick side for those guys, definitely. So quick, while I was bringing up Christian and his time, I should point out, obviously this is not our normal time for doing the show. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Not a regularly scheduled day, but with Christmas Eve falling on a Tuesday and New Year's Eve falling on a Tuesday, we thought it doesn't make sense to do shows on Tuesday then. So we'll be on Thursday next week as well, probably a little later in the evening, though, probably more like 8:00, probably next Thursday. So, but thank you to everybody tuning in and checking us out here tonight. We appreciate that. Well, let's take a quick break and let's shift gears a little bit, shall we? Going over from the NHL It's the day after Christmas. So on the hockey calendar, that means it is time for the World Juniors, one of the biggest amateur tournaments in the world going on right now as we speak. Team USA is finishing up with its opening match against Germany. Let's talk some World Juniors, shall we? This is the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach, we will be right back after a quick word. Do not go anywhere.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide for your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here for another segment. So we got the big breaking news out of the way earlier on the show, talking about the Red Wings. It's the day after Christmas on the hockey calendar. That means that it's time for the World Juniors, one of the biggest, most anticipated tournaments of the year starts today. Everybody is tuned out over in Ottawa, checking everything out. 10 nations, 10 teams, all some of the best amateur hockey players in the world. It's a big one. So many players. You know, we talk all the time about, you know, when we're talking, especially in a sport like football, where it's, oh man, it's time to look, you know, college bowl season. You get to see some of the big up and coming guys that'll be available for the upcoming draft. You can take a look and see some of those guys. This is the hockey equivalent of that. You've got a bunch of guys who are all eligible to be drafted in either this draft or in the next. In the international scene for the NHL, you do have some, you know, guys who are already tagged that just haven't played in the NHL yet, but a lot of guys who are going to be eligible. Lots of stuff to go through and go over. So it's always a fun time of year. And even though we didn't have any, you know, normally when we start the show, we dive into the NHL scores. So obviously we don't have any NHL scores to be discussing tonight, but we do have a couple of games that have already gone final over in the World Juniors tournament. So we do have some scores there that we can at least go through.
Real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So the article I'm seeing that I'm reading, it talks about a Group A in this year's tournament includes Canada, Finland, Germany, Latvia, and the U.S. Group B is Czechia, Kazakhstan, Slovakia, Sweden, and Switzerland. So is it like soccer where they all have to play each other round robin style before somebody moves on, or is it an actual bracket setup?
You start in group play. So you will have group play. Let me see. I'll get the actual schedule pulled up here for you for the tournament. We are in group play as we sit right now. Group play runs through group play will go through New Year's Eve. So you have games obviously today, tomorrow, every day between now and New Year's Eve. You play everybody in your group.
So round robin. Okay, gotcha.
So you play round robin, and then out of that, then you will have you rank everybody from there. You have you then have the two bottom teams in the group. Effectively, they get eliminated. They play each other in a game. Then you have the quarterfinals on January 2nd, the semifinals on January 4th, and then the third place game on January 5th, and the championship also on January 5th. So the interesting thing for this year for the grouping, if we want to talk about that, is the U.S. and Canada are in the same group.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, why, if you want competitive equity, why the heck would you put those two powerhouses on the same side?
It's a draw. It's a draw. So yes, they're both in Group A. So they get to play each other in group play. And
but don't you want that for the finals and not the first round?
Oh, I mean, we might see that. You know, we might see that in a quarterfinal or a semifinal. We might still wind up seeing. I wouldn't be shocked if coming out of group play, you know, if there's still, you know, like 1 and 3, if you will, in the finals there. So we could see them as a semifinal matchup.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know, we're likely to see that, especially with how today's opening game went for the U.S. against Germany. So
Oh.
the U.S. played Germany today.
Good tease. Let's hear it.
Well, it's over. I can give you the whole thing. It wasn't the first game, but we can skip the first game if you want to and just jump straight to the U.S. 10-4.
Go ahead. Oh, okay.
10-4 over Germany.
Woo!
Was the final there.
USA.
It was kind of decisive. The U.S. never trailed. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead before the game was 10 minutes old.
Nice.
It was fairly quick in that regard. I'll just go right ahead and back up to the start of period 1. The U.S. scored 8 minutes in, and then scored again about 12 minutes in was the second goal. James Hagens who might be the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming NHL in this summer's NHL draft. He's certainly going to be one of the guys talked about at the number 1 spot. Gabe Perreault then made it 2-0. Well, that's where we were at the end of 2. Trevor Connolly made it 3-0 before Germany did make it somewhat close. They did get within a goal. They converted a power play. Julius Sumpf converted a power play for Germany 5 minutes into the second period. You then had David Lewandowski scored to make it 3-2. James Hagens then got his second goal of the contest at the 34th minute. Braden Svoboda got an even ice goal. Gabe Perreault got his second to make it 6-2. That is it. The 4-goal deficit is basically as close as it ever got. From that point there out, the U.S. was in complete control the rest of the way to finish it out 10-4, the final score. Let me get some team stats here for you. The U.S. outshot Germany. Ready? 56-22.
What?
Shots on net. Yeah. There both teams 8 minutes of penalty time on that. Trey Augustine played the entire game in net for Germany.
My Sparty.
Yes. Or excuse me, that was for the US. I'm sorry. In net for Germany was Nino Pertuk. He had 46, even giving up 10 goals. He still made 46 saves. Normally you'd say, oh my gosh, he gave up 10 goals. My goodness, what a miserable performance. Well, he still stopped 46. I'm willing to give him credit for that, actually.
Exactly.
That's not a bad day out. Trey Augustine giving up 4 goals on 22 shots. That's actually a little more frustrating, actually, frankly. Nobody had a hat trick for the U.S. Multi-goal scorers. You had James Hagen with 2, Gabe Perreault with 2, Brody Zeimer had 2 as well. And then on the assist side, Cole Hudson had 5 assists on the afternoon for Team USA. So good job there for Cole Hudson. A good afternoon for him. For Germany, nobody with multiple goals for the Germans. Did they have anybody with more than 1 point? No. Everybody. So 4 goals, 4 assists across the board for the Germans in that one. So US, a very, very strong start to the World Juniors. But that was not the game that opened the tournament. The tournament actually, we started with over in Group B, Sweden over Slovakia 5-2. So a little bit more competitive of a game in that one. Taking a quick look here, it was Slovakia actually that opened the scoring. Dalibor Dvorsky opened the scoring just about 12 minutes into the game. And Sweden actually did not score until the second period. Rasmus Bergqvist tied things up. And then one of your top Red Wings prospects just had himself a day. Sandin Pellikka wound up with a hat trick for Sweden on the day. He got a goal just before the 38th minute, just before the 44th minute, and then he got the hat trick just after the 54th minute. So a natural hat trick there, 3 consecutive goals for Sandin Pellikka. Axel, he took over with 3 consecutive goals there to get it up to 5-1 Sweden before eventually Daniel Jenko got it 5-2 to close things out. Overall, this was a little bit more what we're accustomed to seeing some of these statistics. Sweden outshot Slovakia 34-17, so doubling them up there on that one. Penalty minutes 8-6. So Slovakia actually had one more power play than Sweden did on that. Couldn't take advantage of it. For Slovakia on the afternoon, just the 2 goals. They did have Maxim Strabak had 2 helpers, so a multi-point game for him. Samuel Urban, while giving up 5 goals, he did make 34 saves. So, respectable. You'd like to see a couple more saves in there, but respectable numbers. Sandin Pellikka. Axel, of course, the hat trick. He also had an assist for Sweden, so a 4-point afternoon for him. Nobody else with more than 1 goal for the Swedes, though David Granberg did have 2 assists. Also, Felix Ungersorum and Otto Stenberg had 2 assists as well. So a lot of assists for Sweden on the afternoon there. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 assists, 10 assists on the 5 goals. So you like seeing that, multiple assists all throughout on there. So you like seeing that from Sweden's play. Slovakia, nobody had just the one player with multiple points. 2, 3, 4 assists. Yeah, 4 assists total for the Swedes on that one. So good start to the tournament. We do have the third game of the day is already underway. We've got the Czech Republic taking on Switzerland, and it's already won. And the game basically started at 1-0 Czech Republic. They got a goal less than 5 minutes into the game. So Miroslav Holinka with the goal there. So Czech Republic already up 1-0 in that one. They are yet in the first period. We've also got tonight. We have one more tonight. Canada has its tournament opener tonight. Also the host country taking on Finland. So you know that Canada would be heavily expected to come out well on that one for the opening round tournament, taking on Finland in the opening match.
I said England.
No, I said Finland. England is not involved in this tournament at all.
I thought you were going Monty Python on me. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was, but
Okay.
U.S. Then gets U.S.'s next game. Then they've now earned themselves a day off. Their next game will be Saturday afternoon at 3:30 against Latvia. Will be their next game. So I would expect nothing but good things for the U.S. on that one. They then turn around and they get to take on Finland then on Sunday.
Nice. Hey, sorry. The game after Sweden and Slovakia. What was that?
Sweden
it's still
and
going on. It sounded like.
Oh, the one that's still going on. That is the Czech Republic and Switzerland is going on currently right now.
Czech and Swiss. Okay, there we go. Gotcha.
Yeah, the Czech and the Swiss are going on right now. And then group play will finish up for the U.S. A big one on New Year's Eve. They end 2024, puck dropping at 8:00 Eastern time. So it is to close out 2024, taking on Canada to close out group play on New Year's Eve. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one.
Definitely. Going back to Sweden, you were talking about Axel Sandin Pellikka.
Yes. So
I want to say he was part of our mock draft a year or two ago. He's only 19. At the beginning of this article, it compares him to, or it puts him in the same category as Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini, then people who've already been drafted who some of Connor and Macklin aren't playing in this tournament, but Axel is.
No. Yeah, the NHL the NHL tends to not let NHL players go play in a tournament like the World Juniors.
But if they're at the farm system, is that why Axel's allowed?
Farms, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, if you're in the AHL, yeah, we'll loan you out. We'll loan you out. It's good development for you. You get to represent your country. And the players, and it's very much like the Olympics, where it's you get to represent your country. The players love
the pride in your country, of course.
Yeah, the players love doing it. When it's you're in the AHL or the ECHL, yeah, go ahead. Or if you're still playing collegiately. If you've been drafted, but you're still playing collegiately, go ahead. Go represent your country. If you've made it into the NHL, no, we want you here. Thank you. We definitely want you here.
Yeah, that's what the article is saying. It's like they're sticking with their NHL teams for obvious reasons. Money.
You go, yeah, that, and it's no. Macklin, if you get hurt over there, no, we do not. No. If you get hurt, it's playing for us, not playing for somebody else.
Yeah, they won't. Macklin
already has been hurt this year, so that's where they wind up with the Four Nations tournament. That's more where the thinking is, okay, we'll let you use NHL players more for the Four Nations here in a couple of months. That's kind of to help appease that in the meantime. And of course, Olympics, the NHL is still begrudgingly allowing that, where it's all right, fine. We'll shut down for 2 weeks so you can go play in the Olympics. So, but James Hagen's a good start for him. This is a great opportunity for him to kind of cement some attention there, getting ready for the NHL draft here in about 6 months or so. This is another good opportunity for him to help that draft stock out, things like that. So always a good opportunity to go out and play if you're not already with an NHL team.
Yeah, no kidding. Exactly. And Trey and James, they were both, one was at Michigan State, one was at Boston College earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The college players, absolutely. At the colleges, they'll let them go represent their nations and countries. Absolutely. It's good opportunity. All right. Well, let's take one more break. And then when we come back, let's go back to the NHL for a moment. Obviously we had a little bit of a surprise move earlier today. We're at the holiday break. It's a good time to sit back and reflect and go back at what we've seen. We are effectively 3 months into an NHL season that has been full of ups and downs and surprises already. We're going to go back and discuss some of the things that have taken us by surprise, both good and bad, to this point through the NHL season. You are tuned into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach, we will be right back after this.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
And welcome back on into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you for about another 11 minutes or so of the show here tonight. One quick scheduling note. You may have heard there the drop for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax. Patty actually let us know earlier today she is going to do one more show on New Year's Eve, her regular schedule at 7 o'clock Eastern, and then she is actually going to be stepping down from the network. So Patty Bax covering all things Buffalo, so tune in New Year's Eve, 7 o'clock Eastern, as Patty has one last show. She always does an awesome job, not just covering the Sabres, and obviously the Buffalo Bills, a huge job doing that. But she, as she always puts it, it's Buffalo sports with a twist. She's always got little affirmations and different things that she does with the show. So we're sad to lose her, but at the same time, it's going to make for an outstanding, it's an awesome opportunity to get to do a final show. So it'll be great to hear her. So be sure to tune in on New Year's Eve, 7 o'clock Eastern, as Patty Bax does the final show of the Buffalo Huddle.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. All right. You had some thoughts as I was bringing up NHL surprises.
Yeah. So, I mean, this might not necessarily fall under a huge surprise, but Sidney Crosby tying Mario Lemieux's franchise career assist mark in win from earlier today on ESPN. He scored a goal and added 3 assists to tie Mario Lemieux's franchise record for the most assists in team history as the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Philadelphia Flyers 7-3 Monday night. What are your thoughts?
Good, good for Sid. Good for Sidney Crosby. I honestly, it doesn't surprise me because he's been playing for so long, and he's one of those consummate Penguins. I mean, you think Penguins, you think Sid Crosby, you think Penguins, just like Mario Lemieux, just like so many others of the Pittsburgh greats. He's right up there with them.
Right. Yeah. His quote is, I didn't ever think that I'd be close to that. Played a lot of games. He played a lot less than I did. It's what happens when you play long enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You play long enough, you get to take stabs at some of those longevity numbers, very much like Ovechkin being able to topple Gretzky, as we've been off that watch for a little while because Ovechkin's been hurt, but that leads to actually one of my surprises for the season. The Capitals have been worth watching, not just for Ovechkin being on Gretzky watch. The Capitals have been one of the best teams in the NHL to this point. I did not foresee that coming as we're sitting here the day after Christmas. Are they still on top in the, are they still on top? No, they are not on top in the Metro. They are a point behind New Jersey, but New Jersey's played 3 more games than them. They're 48 points in 34 games. That's 5 more than Carolina in the same amount of time. That is, leaps and bounds in front of Pittsburgh. That is second in the Eastern Conference. I would not have pegged Washington to be that at this point in the season.
Yeah, no kidding. More on Crosby. Coach Mike Sullivan says, it's one more piece of evidence to suggest that Sid is the very best players of all time. And as we know, Mario is as well. Their legacy continues to grow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. He is going to get there. There will come a day where that sweater is retired to the rafters. There's going to come, you're going to see his name hanging in the banners there in Pittsburgh.
He went on to call it an incredible privilege. The organization is blessed with 2 generational players such as Crosby and Lemieux over the past 3 decades. Elite company. Mario is one of the greatest players of all time, as is Sid. Milestones that these guys have reached. There's very few players in the history of the game that have reached these milestones that Mario and Sid and some of the other guys have reached most recently. But yeah, I mean, it's right up there with Ovechkin trying to catch Gretzky.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's been one of your biggest surprises to this point in the season?
I guess that's the hot start that Utah was off to.
Yeah. Yeah. The move from the desert to the mountains seemed to do them well. Some fresh mountain air.
Right. Yeah. I mean, essentially they have maybe some more people from the draft and free agency, whatever, but essentially it's the same team as Arizona, and they're not doing so hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, new ownership, new digs, new everything can be a bit of a bright spot. They have cooled off a little bit here as we're in the Christmas break. They're 5th in the Central right now, but they're still above water. 38 points in 34 games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just look at the difference a new culture can bring. Like,
yeah, it can absolutely change things up and shake things up. I would expect them to start drifting backwards a little bit more, that they're going to, they have cooled off a bit, and I would expect that they'll probably taper off and cool off a bit more.
Has their schedule gotten harder as the year's gone on? Is that why, or just because of things not the newness wearing off maybe.
The newness wearing off, that's a big part of it. Absolutely. Also, they're just, I think overall there's still not that strong of a team. I think they got off to a better start than anybody would have expected them to. And so now it's just kind of regressing to the mean, if you will,
kind of
a little bit.
Fool's gold a little bit at first.
Yeah, a little bit. They do start things off here tomorrow night. They host the Colorado Avalanche to get things started. Then they've got a date with the Kraken and the Oilers to round out the year. Taking a look in their January for a moment. And they play the Stars and the Panthers back-to-back games, but they've got days off in between, so not a big one, not huge there. Their January, they all right. The Jets and the Wild, they play those teams relatively close. They do actually, here you go. Here's a 3-game stretch for you. Hosting the Jets, at the Wild, at the Jets in a span of 4 days, in the span of about 5 days. They host the Jets on the 20th, go to Minnesota on the 23rd, and then go to Winnipeg on the 24th.
Oof. And we ain't talking New York Jets either.
Yeah. And then they go to Ottawa on the 26th. So there's a week that's going to equalize and bring them back down. That'll show you what they're made of. That's a 4-game stretch in a span of 6 days. That'll bring them down a little bit there in January.
Yeah, true.
On the flip side, for me, a big downer surprise for me, the Nashville Predators.
Oh, boo.
We talked about them at the start of the season, how they, pushing all your chips into the middle, really trying to make a go of it, and really
Stamkos,
trying to,
the
Stamkos and Marchessault, they were definitely, hey, they're trying to make a move. They're 11-17-7.
Oof.
They have 29 points in 35 games. They're saying, thank God for the Chicago Blackhawks, because otherwise they would be the worst team in the Central Division.
Oh no.
They are basically on pace with the Sharks right now. They only have one more point than San Jose.
Wow.
At this point in the season. Only, you brought up Buffalo earlier. The Predators only 1 point better than Buffalo. So Nashville has been a huge surprise, huge disappointment to this point in the season. We talk about, sometimes bringing in all-star players can disrupt things. This has definitely been an instance where bringing in all-stars has disrupted things in Nashville, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of backfired.
Not good in the Music City for the Predators at all to this point.
No. Side note, speaking of the Sabres, they finally ended their skid with a rout of the Islanders. They routed the Islanders 7-1 Monday night, scoring twice in the first, 3 times in the second, and twice more in the third to snap a 13-game month of futility that going 10. They're 0-10-3.
Yeah. 3 points in 13 games. Ew.
No
Not good. Not good at all. Who's kind of your big surprise on the other side? Is it Buffalo?
Not really. I mean, I think Buffalo's still been kind of recovering ever since the whole Jack Eichel thing. This says, after the win, there was palpable relief heading into the break as the Sabres are off until Saturday when they host the Blackhawks.
Yes, actually, I'm expecting good things in that game for the Blackhawks. They've been on a bit of a rebound lately, and I actually am thinking some good things could come out of that game.
Okay, as opposed to them getting a two game streak going.
Right, exactly. Yeah, as opposed to the Sabres getting on a hot streak. I actually think the Blackhawks had their longest winning streak since Patrick Kane was still with the team earlier this month. So yeah, it was 3.
Right. Yeah. I think I'd still I'd still go back to the Red Wings as being a surprise because they were just they were right on the cusp last year. They almost made the playoffs, and for them to have already fired their coach is disappointing.
Yeah. One last disappointment for me. You brought up the Islanders. One last disappointing surprise, I would say, would just be New York hockey in general. The Rangers and the Islanders both having very bad seasons. Very, very bad seasons. They are both at the bottom of the Metro, tied with 33 points. The Rangers one spot better just because they have one less game played at this point. But that's massively disappointing at this point to the season. I was, the Rangers, they were a team that I like to go all the way to the Cup final. That ain't happening. Well, that's way too much ground to make up at this point.
No, I'm right there with you. The way that they've had success the last couple of years, like they've made it to the Eastern Conference final a number of different times and have fallen just shy of it.
Yep.
So
and now,
not so much.
Yeah, now they've started a fire sale. I mean, anybody that's not boarded down, they are shipping out. Over the next that's going to be the thing to watch with the Rangers over the next month and a half is who gets shipped out ahead of the trade deadline in March. There's going to be moves there.
Oof,
there's going to be lots of moves and things like that going on there. And then the Islanders, also just terrible at this point, 13, 15, and 7, all those overtime losses. My goodness, if they could, even if you flip 3, if you get the extra point in 3 of those, not even quite half, that bumps them up to, they'd be right there with Pittsburgh with 36 points, not in a playoff spot, but you'd be, you'd at least be competitive. Instead, they're just so frustrating with their inability to finish things off and get those extra points as they can. So Larry B in the chat having some fun on Twitter. The Ducks aren't disappointing. They're everything we thought they'd be. Yeah, they're just terrible. They're just bad. He flat out has a couple weeks ago while you were on your way back from Seattle, he flat out asked me to just stop talking about the Ducks ever on the show. He doesn't even want the name getting mentioned anymore on the show.
Hashtag Anaheim to Arizona.
I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad yet. I don't think we're to that point yet. Let's not go crazy here.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, just throwing things out there.
Yeah. Let's not go there yet. So any last surprises for you on the docket so far this season?
No, not particularly.
All right. Well then, with all that said and done.
Oh, hey, can I finish with a quote for your favorite
Absolutely. Finish us off with as the horn sounds. Go through, give us a quote.
Tage Thompson, leads the Sabres with 17 goals, said Monday's win proved that focused hard work is the way forward for his team. Tonight, we said shift after shift, we're going to do the right things and let the chips fall where they may.
There we go. Good quote from Thompson there after the Sabres get to celebrate a rare win. Well, that's going to do it for our show here tonight. Thank you to everybody that showed up in the comments. Taryn Rodriguez, Larry B. Thank you both gentlemen. Thank you also to the sponsors here at the show. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. Also, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You go to iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals to place your order. Also, thank you to Vital Apparel, the latest and newest sponsor for IE Sports Radio. When you go to their website, vitalapparel.com, you can put in the code IESR to get 15% off their gym wear as well. And of course, thank you to IE Sports Radio for providing the platform for the show. Follow them on all the social media platforms at IE Sports Radio, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Anywhere you get social media, IE Sports Radio is there. thank you to Larry B, all the hard work you do behind the scenes, sir, for putting up with us as we do this show. Thank you for letting us do this show. Thank you to also everybody that tuned in live tonight on YouTube and Twitter. We appreciate that. Anybody that is listening, we also appreciate everybody listening later on as a podcast, whether it's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. We appreciate the listeners. Next week, with the holiday, it'll still be a little weird. We'll be doing Thursday night. We're looking at probably an 8 o'clock Eastern show start on that one next Thursday night. And then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled 9 o'clock on Tuesday evenings. Until then, he's Zach. I'm Adam. We are the Neutral Zone. Everybody be safe and healthy. Don't get checked into the boards. Forget that 5-hole. We will see you next week.